Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like and subscribe. Follow me across the social media platforms and make sure to hit that like button. Oh, yeah. Leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Look, man. Big action in boxing, man. You got damn Ryan Garcia. Now they saying he's supposed to be the next face of boxing. And initially I was like, hell no. But then I started thinking, yeah, he could end up being. That man profile keeps growing and growing. You got, the Battle of Britain taking place in New York. Go figure. You know what I'm saying? Joseph Parker back in the mix. Always some controversy with Big Vote. Devin Haney, anywhere for the money. That dude, he don't care. Canelo is actually talking about, look, man, I don't have much longer. Retirement's near. Got people out here talking. Mauricio Suleiman is in the mix. He ain't gonna pass up on no dollar. Willing to work with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. Juan Manuel Marquez is retired, but I think if he was still fighting, he's a full-weight division champion. But if that man was fighting right now in his prime, in any of them weight divisions he fought in, he would whip everybody's ass. And for David Benavidez, man, it looked like he decided to go Hollywood on us. And, just let the secret society put him in these fights for vacant titles and for him to get as close as becoming undisputed at cruiserweight without really fighting the king, Opetaia, the Osmoan. Aussie, oi. But first with Shawn Metaf, this Saturday, man, big fight card for the ladies, man, taking place in Orlando, Florida. You got the public weigh-in on the 7th, press conference on the 6th, which is today. And I'm actually going to try to tune in to check out Shawn Metaf. I know she rolls with Clarissa Shields, but she does a lot of stuff in the community, man. I got a lot of respect for that. And they got a lot of other ladies fighting on the undercard as well. But I want to see what Shawn Metaf can do. I know Roy Jones was there working with her. And, she seems to be committed to the sport. But the one thing about her, she's involved in the community, and I pay attention to stuff like that. I got a lot of respect for people who are out there involved and trying to make a difference, man. And Shawn Metaf is looking to continue building momentum. We know she lost to Shanika Johnson by TKO a couple of years ago, but she's been rebuilding, man. Now, if she can continue raising her profile, she may be somebody who can really, represent women's boxing, outside the ring, because of the things she's doing. But she just has to keep winning, keep building her profile, man. And I think we're going to continue to see women's boxing continue to grow internationally. And when you have fighters, not just Shawn Metaf, but all these women fighters, when they have an opportunity to fight and put forth a televised performance, it just creates opportunities for fighters to gain recognition with fans and also with broadcasters, because here it is, I'm talking about it, now y'all know about her. So Shawn Metaf is a name, if you're not familiar with it, now you are. But the biggest thing is just being consistent inside the ring. That's one of the fastest ways to build a lasting career. So good luck to Shawn Metaf. If y'all don't know who she is, go follow her on Instagram. But go and look and see what she's doing in the community, man. I got that. That's the number one reason why I pay attention to her. You know what I mean? The other stuff, I don't care what that shit means something to me. That's because, that's how I move, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's really all about serving others and helping to build champions, not break champions down. Now, Aussie, oi, the big Osmoan, Opetaia. You know what, man? I've always followed, Opetaia, and I've watched what's going on in boxing, and I don't really go, and just put all my attention into one fighter. But I ain't gonna lie, man. The last year, I've been really paying attention to the big Osmoan because I don't like the way they're doing him. But it looks like, he's starting to get a little momentum again. Zuffa Boxing, Turkey Al-Sheikh, when Turkey's in the house every day, it's Thanksgiving. Looks like he could be fighting for that WBC strap. You know what I'm saying, man? And that's why it's being talked about. In the WBC, as they have Conor been fighting Ryan. WBC strap is going to be on the line. So it looks to me that Opetaia is going to be okay. He's going to make money over there with Zuffa, but it looks like he's going to get opportunities to fight for titles and possibly fight for undisputed. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the Wu-Tang Cream, cha-ching-ching, dollar bill, y'all. Not for Jai, but for these sanctioning bodies. As long as they're getting a little bit of dough, man, they don't care. And you know, it's not even about a little bit of dough with turkey. Dude got plenty. So whatever he has to do, man, to settle things down, to get things to go the direction he wants it to travel, he's going to do it. And it looks like that's happening. Anyway, Jai Opetaia is returning against Noel McKellian. And I have a feeling that Jai is going to not just win that fight, but get a big knockout. And then I know for a fact he's going to continue to put that pressure on David Benavidez for the fight. Now, as far as David Benavidez putting duck sauce on the fried rice, look, I don't know if I want to say that yet, but I do know he seems to be listening to his team. And I don't understand why the Mexican monster is not demonstrating monster-like behavior, because he should be running towards Jai Opetaia, but that's not how it goes. And maybe it's because he look at the big Osmoan and he's like, shit, this man's tough, southpaw, elite conditioning, technical ability, willingness to fight anyone, got power. Maybe he's looking and saying, shit, I don't know about all that. But many supporters, you know, for Jai Opetaia, they want to see him fight David Benavidez. They think he's going to answer major questions about the cruiserweight division and whether David Benavidez belongs or he doesn't. And it may create the discussion that maybe Opetaia doesn't belong. He's too big, too good, too strong. He need to go up to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Because if he smokes David Benavidez, I can hear him saying, Opetaia is a weight bully. He really should be a heavyweight. Right now, he getting love, but you know how boxing is. So I just think until the negotiations actually happen, it's kind of impossible to know, you know, whether or when that matchup will materialize. But I do think when he fights McKellian, if it's for that WBC strap, as well as the Zuffa and ring title, and Jai beats him, he'll be one step closer to that Benavidez fight. And then the conversation's already bubbling up. Is Benavidez putting duck sauce on the fried rice when they come to fighting Jai Opetaia? Same way Canelo put duck sauce on the fried rice and the carne asada when it came to fighting Benavidez. So he done fucked around and slipped into Canelo's shoes. Now, as far as the Benavidez debate, don't get anything twisted. Benavidez is a bad boy, man. One of the elite fighters. I think he smokes just about anybody. I just don't know about him messing with no damn Jai Opetaia. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe, like a lot of fans, that he should pursue the toughest available opponent, regardless of belts. Forget them belts, man. You the monster, go and clip Jai Opetaia. It doesn't matter who had the belts. Real recognize real. We know who the big dog is. It don't matter who's carrying belts. Everyone can look at the division and know who the big dog is. And right now it's Jai Opetaia, and David Benavidez is probably number 2. Quit worrying about all them belts, man. You getting them belts to try to get leverage? Why? To try to make it a 75-25 split? For what Jai's like, nah, we ain't doing that. Then you can sit there, man, and go left. That's your way of ducking the fight. Nah, fight the man. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. There's going to always be some championship opportunities out there, man. You got mandatory obligations, etc., man. So let's do the business. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the business, man. Because I just feel public perception shifts really quickly if fights aren't made at the right time. But that's just how boxing fans are, you know. And talking about fans, Ryan Garcia got a lot of fans. And this streaming shit, Hood Champion may start doing this kick streaming shit. I can't believe, man, how many people be following this guy. But he just got something about him that people like. You know, some people just have that kind of energy. You know, that they just attract people. And Ryan has that. So now people are saying that he's one of boxing's biggest attractions, especially now with a WBC title. You know, that helps. But his popularity doesn't just come from picking up the WBC strap. He was popular before. You know what I mean? He's no longer, you know, recognized as the YouTube guy who can box. Now they're like, yo, this dude is a boxer who just is this social media sensation. But he's got that explosive style, social media reach, crossover appeal, knockout power, generates headlines. People are saying Ryan is the next face of boxing. Now I'm not, like I said, initially I was like, hell no. But now I'm like, whether he becomes a long-term face of boxing, I think it just depends on success against elite competition. And the first challenge comes when he gets in it with Conor Ben. I think Ryan knocks him out. First 30 seconds, left hook, Conor Ben's chest to canvas, ass in the air like at a Diddy party. And that's just how I see it. I don't think Conor Ben lasts in there with him. And if Ryan does that, I'm telling you, Ryan's profile is going to fucking skyrocket. That shit is going to be up and away. And if he comes after that and fights maybe Devin Haney in a rematch and he sparks him, I'm telling you, Ryan could mess around and become the face of boxing. He's got everything. He got everything it takes. All he got to do is be consistent and fight elite competition. That's all he's got to do. Everything else is in place already. You know what I mean? And the pay-per-view numbers will be there. The back-end money will be there. But hopefully he won't still be there with Oscar De La Hoya, because Oscar De La Hoya will ruin all the future earnings of Ryan Garcia, because De La Hoya is greedy as hell. So good luck to whatever Ryan's doing. But I'm not saying he's the face of boxing, but I could see it. If he consistently faces elite competition and wins, and dominates them, I'm telling you, Ryan's going to be that guy. I put it to you this way. Who would have thought Rolly would be in the position he's in where everybody takes him serious now? Everybody taking Rolly serious now. Ain't nobody laughing at Rolly no more. So why can't Ryan go on to become the next face of boxing? You watch. Now, as far as August 15th, Clarissa Shields card, I ain't here to talk about her. I'll save that to the end. I'll just tell you, there's so many damn fights going on that card now. You know what I'm saying? I think they're doing too much. Numerous traditional boxing match. I think it's like 10 something taking place. Then you got the Zeus piece before that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know some people appreciate a night of full boxing programming and shit, but I just think ultimately fans will decide whether that format succeeds through ticket sales, viewership, and overall reception. I just think I think August 15th has too much going on. That's just my opinion, and I could be wrong. Now, I'll tell you what, if you had 10 or so fights in addition to the Zeus fights, and 10 of those fights ended up with guys scrapping like Juan Manuel Marquez, well, then not so bad. But the reality is there's only one Manuel Marquez. The dude's retired. But, man, he continues to receive admiration from fans, man. That combination of timing, counter-punching, ring IQ, championship pedigree, and people remember him stiffening up Manny Pacquiao like a goddamn mannequin when he caught him with that damn, he hit him with the right hand, man. Crazy. Hit him with the death blow. But I tell you what, man, you know, we're always comparing generations. It's so subjective. But one thing for sure is Juan Manuel Marquez, his legacy remains secure. But I am telling you, if that dude was fighting right now in his prime, from any of the 4 weight divisions he was in, he would smoke all these guys. He was a problem. That counter-punching, man, for those of y'all who don't know who Juan Manuel Marquez is, go to YouTube. Look at his highlights. You're going to see some shit. That guy's counter-punching ability was something else. These fellas today better be glad he ain't fighting. Now, talking about some people who are not glad when it comes to a fight are the Brits. Because Joshua and Tyson Fury, I don't know why the hell they're making that shit at Madison Square Garden. One of the biggest heavyweight events, man, that can be made. It shit should be on British soil. That's just my opinion. It should be out there in the UK. But they have it in the States. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the biggest fights in the States in years, especially heavyweight boxing. But all I'll say is most people want that fight to happen in the UK. It only makes sense. But then others they're just glad it's happening regardless of location. We know that the Brits will travel. But I ain't gonna lie, I think someone didn't hold their horses and took it to the stupid on that one. Will they get the support? Yeah, they will. But I just think it'd be bigger and better out in the UK. Neither one of the dudes are in their prime. Nobody taking this fight serious. You know what I'm saying? They're better off to have AJ fighting Water in New York. Then you can get some shit. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Just like I got my opinion on Joseph Parker. You know, I'm glad to see that he's back in boxing, but I'm just saying, man, this UCAD 3-month suspension for testing positive for cocaine, that's what we're doing over here. Anyway, man, whenever discussions involve testing or disciplinary matters, I try to rely on official rulings rather than speculation. But the truth is, man, the information that I received from reading online is that Joseph Parker served a 3-month suspension, and that was it. And he's back to boxing. What you think about that? Now, Canelo's nearing retirement. Canelo's letting the world know. I don't know how much I have left, man. You know, this dude right here has had one of boxing's most defining careers. Talk about learning from your mistakes. He fought Mayweather. He got Mayweather went there and sliced and diced him, put the bing bings on him. Canelo went back to Guadalajara, Jalisco, put the Mexican horns on. Bing, 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 bing. Got that Viva Mexico Camarones in his ass. Came back and just whipped everybody's ass. Up and down weight divisions, man. Vertically, laterally, just whipping everybody's ass. Talk about living in the gym, boy. But anyway, one thing about him, I do think because of some of the shit with, the positive test and Eddie Reynoso's camp with all them guys testing positive for shit, I just think his legacy is going to continue to be debated and judged. You know what I mean? Debated and judged for decades. But for me, I'm going to give him his credit. You know what I'm saying? The accomplishments this dude has had is something amazing. But he did have opportunities presented to him. He's the big name. He's the draw, the face of boxing. And when you're the cash cow, you get opportunities that others don't. And he did. But anyway, we'll see how much longer he has. But I know this dude, I think he's a billionaire already. But from boxing, he may make, in his last couple of fights, motherfucker mess around and retire from boxing and have made $2 billion from boxing. Because he getting paid some serious money out there with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Now, Devin Haney. Him and Keyshawn, look, I don't know who to blame on that one. Some say Keyshawn put duck sauce on the fried rice. Some say Devin and his dad got all this power behind the scenes to make sure the shit went to purse bid and the top rank to bid at something like $8 million to be split 75% in favor of Devin Haney. Look, I don't know what's going on. All I know is Keyshawn ain't moved forward with it. Some seeing Devin as a duck. Some see Keyshawn as a duck. Now Devin's supposed to be fighting Liam Power. They're talking about it. I'll just say this. Devin Haney has built a reputation for pursuing major opportunities in different countries. And I can see him flying his ass right over there to Australia to fight Liam Power. You know what I'm saying? Devin will take risk, and it doesn't matter where the fight takes place. So he's all about the strongest financial opportunities and where those exist, and that's where he'll be at, right there with his dad, old Bill Haney and shit. And you can't knock it. Now, before I get out of here, Clarissa Shields, public attention. She continues to generate, every day she got some kind of shit going on with her, man. Media appearances, interviews, right in front of her iPhone, arguing with her iPhone. Like, she scares her iPhone. The Apple just, jumped off the motherfucking iPhone, jumped in a blender and a juicer, and allowed itself to be squeezed into a liquid form. You know what I'm saying? Chris just grabbed it, coming, man, please, juice. Apple juice. This iPhone is great. Scared the Apple right off the goddamn iPhone. Man, please. Yo, let me tell you something when it comes to Big Bro, man. That outspoken style has kept her in the spotlight. But that outspoken style is going to have her pushed out the spotlight. And it's already happening. You know what I'm saying? All of these disagreements, all of these arguments, all of these verbal tirades, all this shit going on has distracted from her achievements in the ring. And I ain't gonna go down no damn rabbit hole on that shit. We all know that. I will say this, man. If an athlete receives criticism or even reported threats, right? Those situations should be handled through appropriate legal channels and security measures. That's why when you hear about Miss Shanika and the fact that Clarissa was calling up and threatening people, well, that's why shit's being pursued legally now. Clarissa Shields needs to understand, this ain't a fucking movie. Like, you can't be out here calling and threatening people. You can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is taken seriously. And she already has a pattern there showing that she's a little bit Sesame Street. Going at Layla Muhammad and slapping Alicia, pushing goddamn Franchon. Now she out here with Miss Shanika talking about what she won't do, calling the woman all these crazy names, and all this shit is on video. Everything has been captured, man. So Clarissa, to me, man, she gone up shit creek with no paddle. And nothing has happened that, to me, warranted Clarissa escalating things the way she did, to where she's harassing people, assaulting people, and now suggesting violence against a radio host, the radio personality who's doing their job. So more to come on all that shit, but I'm just telling you, man, every day is something. That's why I say, hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Boxing always in chaos. Keep cool, I'm in the breeze.